You're now listening to Hispanics Causing Panic, baby. Let's do this.
But right now, Hispanics are causing black. But right now, Hispanics are causing black. Yeah, folks, Hispanics are causing panic. Hispanics are causing panic, baby. Let's do it.
Thanks to those joining me live and to those that be joining me on archive. D-Style Boxing here, being joined by my co-host G Funky Boxing. This is Hispanics Causing Panic, episode 73. And we also have from the Boxing Voice, the one and the only Mario Munguia as a special guest host. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Boxing Voice, as you probably already are here on YouTube. We're going to go ahead and get this one started right out of the gate. Shout out to Nando, Puerto Rican Rum, Chicano Prophet, A-Rod, Jesus M, from Buddy Aces, War a Week, Puerto Rican Rum. Shout out to everybody. Share this video on all your social media platforms. You're listening on our archive. Make sure you hit that like button. Throw a jab at it. Throw a right to the subscribe. And make sure you hit that uppercut on the bell button. That way you're that way you're notified every single time D-Style Boxing comes on live, especially shows like this one. Also, Roundtable Thursday right here on Thursday. Make sure you tune in. Shout out to Big Dog Willie and Chen Smoke. I buy houses. How's it going? Well, let's go ahead and start this one right out of the gate. Let's give a shout out to the one and the only Luke Santamaria. How are you doing, brother?
Hey, man, how you doing? I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me on the show, man. Appreciate it.
What's good, brother? What's good?
Not much, man. Just chilling, you know.
Hey, you had a great performance against a 2-division, world champion in Devin Alexander. Talk to us about that fight. Did it go the way you expected? And what did you learn out from that performance?
Oh no, well, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. We train hard for a fight to come out, good. So well, first, man, it was a tough fight. He had a lot of experience. We did what we had to do. We started a little slow, but you know what? We were happy with our performance. Even though I thought we could have thrown more, but my coach said no, it's fine because he's a good counterpuncher. So it's better to be smart.
It's always better to be smart. 12 wins, 7 wins coming by way of knockout, 2 losses. Now another victory you had was last year around the same month, pretty much, basically just a year before that against Mikel Fox. A great win there. Did you have an opportunity to watch his previous fight where there was all that controversy?
Yeah, bro. They honestly they did him dirty, man. He looked solid, man. For Michael Fox, he looked really solid, man. So props to him. But they did him dirty, man. But
yeah, they definitely did. That's for sure. He got the short end of the stick. He didn't get a stick. Not the short end. He didn't stick. Nothing. Man. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, I want to talk to you about your last the last time you lost the fight. Okay.
Yeah.
Now from this was in between. The Michael Fox and Devin Alexander fight against Paul Crow, right?
Paul Crow, yeah.
Yeah. What did you learn from that fight? What did you take from it? And is that a fight you would like to run back?
No, yeah, definitely, man. You always got even though we thought we won, but at the end of the day, it's the judges who have the last call, and so I mean I respect it, but I would definitely like to run it back, but like I said, I mean I feel like with the win over Devin Alexander, I think it's just we're on to bigger things now. You know what I mean?
Agree.
Okay.
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure, for
definitely.
Sure. Now, I mean, you're only 23 years old. I mean, it's not like you're in your 30s or something. I mean, you're fighting some pretty tough opposition here. What is the method behind that? And do you think a lot of fighters or fans even could be overlooking you as a fighter because there's 2 losses on your record? You're 12-2, but it seems like you have a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like those 2 losses they don't describe me as a fighter, because I go in like with anybody they offer me, I accept. So that's why my record isn't that pretty.
Absolutely.
But you've been in there tough though. You fought plenty of tough dudes. So
Yeah.
go ahead, G-Funk. My bad.
No, I was just gonna make a comment about how he said his record's not pretty. Look over here, man. We don't trip if a fighter takes a couple of losses. Like we just want to see the fights, And you're doing the boxing fans a service by taking fights,
Yeah, man.
Tough
No,
fight.
definitely. Like I say, I'm there to fight, and I could have pulled out of the fight because I don't know if you guys know, but Devin Alexander came in 7 pounds heavy.
Ooh.
And so
Yeah.
we could have backed out of the fight, but I told my coach, I'm like, nah, I know we could beat them. They just take the fight and it's all or nothing, because it really is all or nothing for me because I ain't got nothing to lose. You know what I mean? And so
But were you confident you could beat him at that weight? Like I mean, obviously it was a surprise, right? It was supposed to be welterweight, ends up at super welterweight. Like, were you still confident? I mean, what was the mindset of saying
yeah,
yes?
no, I was still confident because I mean, you know how it is when someone comes in heavier, like they're a little slower, and so my plan was to just box them, try to move all around the ring if I have to, and and start slow. And
Had you been sparring bigger guys?
yeah, I usually always spar bigger guys. I'm always in the gym sparring bigger guys. So that's another reason why I never really mattered to me what he came in.
Now, was the fight originally for 147, or he went over 154?
Yeah, well, no, it was supposed to be at 147, and then the day we flew in, the day we got there, they told us that he couldn't make 147. That if we could do 149, and we're all like, yeah, we could do 149. Either way, the day we landed, I think 150, and so I got to eat good, and then I worked out a little bit at night, and I dropped to 148, and so the day the weigh-ins came, and then they called us. They said, "Oh, he's not gonna make 149. They wonder if he could do 154." And then that's when we went downstairs, and then yeah, we all huddled up and we talked about it. And at the end of the day, it was my decision, and I accepted. So
Did they cut you a check? Did they
I was
cut you
going to say,
little,
did they compensate you for that or what?
some cheese?
Yeah, they did.
All right, there we go.
Make it rain on him one time. Huh?
Yeah, hey, it's not there yet, but hopefully soon, man. After this victory, hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, do you think he just? Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I felt you looked pretty good, man. Especially how we talked earlier about how you were coming off of a unanimous decision loss to go in with a Devin Alexander who's a veteran, a southpaw, still fast hands. That's a hell of a fight to just go straight into like that, So much credit to you, man.
Like I said, man, anyone they offer me, I just say fuck it, let's do it. You know what I mean? Oh,
definitely.
Part the word. I don't know if I can say bad words or not, but
you can.
Man, D style cusses like a maniac. No, I'm playing. Listen, if y'all don't mind, I want to switch gears real quick because there's actually something I want to get your opinion on. I know you saw the Amanda Serrano fight. The controversy from that fight actually happened afterwards with her husband, and part trainer or whatever, coming out and saying, we expected to fight a Mexican. Mexicans don't run. Mexicans don't do this. You have a very multilateral style. You know what I mean? You adapt to your opponent. We've seen you bang it out. We've seen you box. We've seen you be, meticulous in the ring. What did you think of those comments? Did they bother you? Just talk about it.
You know what? Like everyone expects a Mexican to, have that Mexican style, but like I told you the other day, man, I'm trying to last in the sport, man. I'm not trying to be punch drunk by 25, And
Definitely.
so, I mean, even I don't really respect what he was saying because, like I said, I could fight, I could box, but it just depends. It depends the fighter, and it depends who you're fighting, man. To be honest,
Definitely.
Well, let me ask you this. That's interesting. What is, in your opinion, not to the public, but to you, Mexican style? What does that mean to you?
Oh, Mexican style is someone who keeps coming, who likes to get hit, who likes to bleed, who likes to, just get out, bro. That's what a Mexican style is, I think.
Okay. So that's how it's, people see it, and that's fair. That's how most people see Mexican style, But I think it doesn't appreciate the Mexican fighters that could box well and box on the back foot, use lateral movement, use defense, stuff like that, and so,
Yeah, I felt like you boxed really well against Alexander. I want to ask you something though about it. One thing I noticed, and I've been saying this a lot about when a conventional fighter or an orthodox fighter fights a southpaw, that we all know that the lead right hand is like one of the main punches you want to throw against a southpaw. But I noticed you were looping a left hook over his lead, and you were having some really good success. And I feel like that's an underrated weapon. Like, is that something that you guys worked on, or
yeah, we did want to follow up with the body shot after that. But I just, like I said, I didn't want to get countered, so I would just throw that hook and maybe a quick right or something and back up real quick. But yeah, no, definitely, that's definitely what we practiced. We wanted to counter his jab and like throw hooks over it and then just pivot out. But we couldn't get the other punches in, but we did get that hook. We were able to get that hook in most times.
Yeah, I feel like you hurt him a few times with that over the top of his jab, and I'm thinking like, man, I don't know why fighters don't use that more often against a southpaw, because they're always expecting that right hand. But if you can counter that jab with the left hook, it's even more of a surprise,
Damn, you're on point with that. You're absolutely right. I actually want to ask you, you can just answer yes or no. You don't even have to get into it really, but do you think that the Michael Fox fight, the controversy, and all the media blitz that happened around it afterwards actually makes that a bigger win for you? Like,
yeah, definitely, man. Like Michael Fox, he's like I said, he looks sharp, man. He looked real sharp, and most of us thought he won. So that just says a win over him. I feel like that put me even more on top, man.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, would you like a piece of Maestre, or would you like to get in the ring with him?
Oh, definitely, man. I would. I really would. But there's always that person that tells me who to fight. So that's why I don't really like to call on names.
Yeah.
I do.
I feel you. How many more fights this year you think?
I actually want to do one in November, man, but it's all up to them. I'm trying to stay ready. But yeah, I want to do November hopefully and finish the year strong.
Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Because I know you're saying, you have someone who takes care of that side. You want to focus on being the fighter, staying in the gym, and when it's fight time, you focus on that, right?
Yeah.
Is that something you want to stay? Is that where you want to stay at in terms of letting someone handle that, or do you feel at some point you'll have more of a say on who you fight?
Definitely. Yeah,
there'll be a transfer of that control anyway.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to get to that point where I'm the one, choosing my opponents and saying I want to fight him or I want to fight him, and I'm able to call the shots. But right now, I'm realistic. I know I'm not at that point yet, and so right now I know I gotta fight. I gotta fight whoever they tell me to fight to get to where I want to be and to get into that position.
Okay. Now there was some big controversy this week, right? And you could comment as much as you want. I mean, I'm not going to really push you too much about it. You're right, but Oscar Valdez tested positive for it was I forget the name of the, what was the name of the drug? Phentermine, okay. It's a stimulant. And of course, the WBC basically decided not to strip him. The commission decided to let the fight go on. I've heard both sides of the argument, but I want to know, you as a fighter, how do you feel about it?
No, I mean, if it's true, then that's, that's chicken shit. But if it's not true, then, he doesn't got it for much because he's world champ, you know what I mean? But that's if it's not true. But if it's true, then people are gonna they're gonna have a lot of stuff to say towards it.
You, like, let's say a fighter of Valdez's status was scheduled to fight you, and this came out, would you still be like, yo, no, I want to fight him, because this is a big opportunity for me? Or would you be like, nah, I don't want to fight the guy?
No, I mean, I'll definitely still take the opportunity, man. But it would be behind my head, like, damn, this guy's using this and these guys using that. But at the end of the day, it's just, if he trained well, if the other guy trained well, he should be like, yo, let's do it. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of fighting you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like in Devin Alexander's case, right? Because what Valdez took is to help him make weight. You know what I mean? To cut weight and make the weight. That's what he took, right?
Yeah. I honestly haven't been following up, but
right.
But I do know he did get something came out in his drug test.
Okay. So in terms of Devin Alexander, do you think? Because I know you mentioned since he was like overweight, he'll probably not throw as much, or he'll feel heavy. Do you think he had an advantage over you in any way, shape, or form when you fought him? Like, did he feel heavy in there because he didn't make the weight or anything like that?
You know what? No, we kind of seen it as a disadvantage for him, because I feel like he's gonna be heavier, So, and I'm pretty quick myself, so since he's heavy, he's gonna be slower and it's gonna be harder to hit me. So we kind of saw it as a disadvantage, to be honest.
Okay. So, like, you saw, like, he was out of shape, kind of something like that.
And he looked real good. He looked sharp. He looked like he did the work, but yeah, I know he wasn't gonna be I know he wasn't gonna be as fast, because he came over 7 pounds, so he probably came to a fight 170, 175.
Easy.
Yeah, easy. Yeah.
Yo, so I want to take it somewhere else real quick. Your trainer, Javier Capatillo, the son of Javier Capatillo Sr., legendary trainer in the sport. I know you, right? I know you, and I know your coach, and I know how hard you work. Okay. I know, the things that y'all do, running on the beach every week, running up hills every week. Yeah. You are a dog in the ring, and you're a lion outside of it, the way you train. Because the Capatillo name brings along, for some fans, the idea of Margarito and not understanding that time and what happened, and just assuming that, it's besmirched the name, right? And the Capatillo name has always been legendary since I started watching boxing somewhere in the 90s. Yeah. Do you feel at all a sense of pressure or I guess, on your shoulders to bring up that name or to show people the way that the Capatillo name really should be thought of in boxing? Is there any pressure on you?
I wouldn't say pressure, but I do want to I want to be his son's first world champion, so to keep the legacy going, man, because the man did a lot of work in boxing.
Yeah.
And even though this happened, whether it's true or not, it messed up his name, kind of, you know what I mean? And so that's one of the goals me and his son have, to be the world's first champion he has, and to keep that name alive, man, because that name, it took him a lot of work, man.
Definitely.
13 world champions the man had, so I don't think.
Yeah, man. Miguel Vasquez, Margarito, Giovanni Segura. Thank you. Yes, I mean, these are some of the. Yeah.
Now, one thing,
champions, and for one mistake, like I said, whether it's true or not, I believe it's not true, but but it doesn't really matter what I think.
I agree with you.
We're gonna believe what we believe, and like we can't.
Well, I can tell you this, man. We did some pretty good investigative reporting on that case here, and some people, I was surprised there was quite a few people who said, you know what, I'm thinking a little bit differently now that I'm hearing more information that I wasn't given back when it happened. Some people are just going to stand on that island, man, forever. And, so it is what it is,
Yeah, no, I know. If you know the backstory, like you said, it's like, hey, but like I said, people are going to believe what they're going to believe, and, you can't really change their mind.
Now, the one thing about Capatillo fighters, I don't know, Giovanni Segura was mentioned, Margarito. Say what you want about, about them, right? Especially Margarito. People can do what they want, but the one thing that was unquestionable was the stamina, the unrelenting,
Oh yeah, man.
They just kept coming. In other words, right?
Yeah, that's what
1,000 punches, like nothing, right? Like that's crazy. Now, can you talk to us a little bit about that? Because usually, let me ask you this: do you have a strength and conditioning coach, or is it enough with Capatillo?
Yeah, I believe it. We don't really believe in strength and conditioning. We just believe the road work is the strength and conditioning. Because to be honest, it is
right.
They didn't have no strength conditioning back in the day. All they did was run.
And they did 15, right? They did 15 rounds back then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, and the reason, I find that astonishing because look, Margarito would throw over 1,000 punches like a fight as a welterweight. That's crazy, right? Yeah. And then not only, Segura used to throw like punches like crazy too, and it takes a lot of energy to do that. But then you have fighters that have strength and conditioning coaches, and within 4 or 5 rounds are tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what is it? So you kind of took my question. You answered it already. Like it's just old school road work. Is that what it is?
Yep. And yeah, we're the new generation, but we stick with seniors game plans. We just gotta run, do the road work, and train hard in the gym. There's no way around the work. You just gotta work, and everything comes up.
It's like that, man.
Yeah.
If it ain't fixed, don't break. I mean, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, right?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
Wow. So, is there can you kind of explain to us and us the fans over here, like what are some of the things you do that would be considered, strength and conditioning? You're flipping tires over there. Or do you use a sledgehammer?
Well, after I fought, these last 3 weeks, I've been doing a lot of sledgehammer and like a lot of like just hitting the tires, flipping tires, a lot of leg work. That's pretty much what we do. We don't really do any weights or any of that stuff.
No weights, okay. That's old school right there for sure.
Yeah. Chopping wood is what we did mostly, but
running in the sand for like 2 minutes is harder than I've squatted like 500. I promise you, I could do that faster than I could run 5 minutes in the sand, dog. That's tough.
Yeah, we do a lot of sand work too, man.
Yeah,
beaches are, what, man?
It's a killer, right?
Yeah.
Wow. That is great right there. Do you do so you still do a lot of sparring? Is it hard sparring? Do you kind of
no, right now haven't
down?
Yeah, we haven't really done tough sparring, but yeah, we actually we're gonna start doing sparring next week. But no, we haven't really been sparring right now.
How is sparring for one of your camps? Is it kind of is it those gym wars we hear about, or is it just like training? You just take it as training? Is it not that serious?
No, it's most gym wars, bro. We
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you hear a lot of
sparrings are always good, man. We actually for our last 2 fights, we've been going to Manny Robles' gym. He has a lot of good welterweights and a lot of good 154s. So that's where we do our camps. We do a lot of sparring there.
I just saw they upgraded that gym, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
No, actually, no.
It looks good.
Yeah, it does look good. It does look good, but I don't think
I thought they got like new bags and stuff. I thought I saw that on Twitter the other day.
I haven't been there in a month and a half. Or so.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, I saw it the other day.
Right, because it seems to be a lot of advocates for hey, let's get away from the harsh sparring that can cause a lot of damage to the fighters. But
good point.
I mean, I hear that a lot, but then I also hear fighters that say hey, that's just the way it is. That's the only way they know. So,
yeah. Actually, I mean, the last week of sparring is usually, we spar a little lighter, but yeah, no. Usually throughout the whole camp is fucking tough sparrings. Tough sparrings, man.
That is old school.
It makes the fight easier, man. not that any fight's easy, but you know, if there's a one way to make a fight easy is tough sparring, because if not, you go in there and you don't know what to do.
Well, let me put it this way. So, look, I showed a lot of respect to Devin, right? The two division, I should say, world champion. Was there some sparring sessions that were tougher than your fight with Devin that night on the lead up to that fight?
You know, there was a lot of hard sparrings. You know, like for example, I was cut in my right eye 3 weeks before the fight. I never said anything, but you know, it was only me and my coach that knew. And I feel like that's another reason why my timing was a little off on the fight. You know, I feel like I could have thrown more, but my timing was a little off. And I didn't really want to say anything because I didn't want people to be like, oh, excuses, you know, this, excuses that, you know. But you know, everything came out good, and we did what we did, and next fight, you know, we're gonna try to do more. But
all right, now just some questions for you here. Who's your favorite fighter or fighters? Like, who are some of your influences?
Like one of my favorite fighters is Roy Jones Jr., Julio Cesar Chavez, Manny Pacquiao is one of my favorites. Yeah, those are probably my top three.
Are you gonna try the rooster move that Roy Jones did, or we put his hands behind his back, or are you gonna get yelled at by a trainer?
Yeah, I'll probably get yelled at for having, you know.
You want to do that?
Yes.
It looks
it's crazy because when I first started training with Javier, I was that type of fighter that put my hands down, you know, try to make people like miss. And then but they got on my ass every time I did it. So now it's
so that's why it's tough sparring. That I want to make sure this guy keeps his hands up. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
There we go. And what about athletes outside of boxing? Any athletes you know you looked up to?
You know, I mean LeBron James. He's big here, you know. You know, Kobe, rest in peace. He was another legend, but
okay.
Yeah, no, honestly, I don't really watch sports like that. I just, you know, watch boxing here and there.
Yeah, that's what we like to hear. You know what I mean? There we go. Who's got time for the sports anyway? You know, other than G-Funk, he watches he wastes his time watching the Giants play baseball. I don't know why. It is what it is, right?
Hey, the best team in baseball.
But cool. That's like saying, you know, you're the world's tallest midget. Like who cares? You know what I mean? No. But in all seriousness, let's say that 30 years from now, a book is written about you, right?
Yeah.
When someone finishes reading that book, what do you want them to take away, you know, from that book? Like what lesson, what you know, the meaning of your career, whatever it is, what do you want people to take away from it?
No, I just want people to know, you know, that even though I haven't really accomplished anything, that hard work pays off, because, you know, I came from fighting in TJ, you know, in small bars, and I know I fought in at the Mandalay Bay, I fought in at the Armory, you know, it's big arenas, you know what I mean? So one thing I want them to take out of the book is, you know, hard work pays off, and you know, it all starts with the dream. You know, you got to dream big, because you never know where you could end up, man.
There we go. That sounds very inspiring. We look forward to watching the rest of your journey. Let everybody know where they can find you on social media, brother.
Yeah, I'm under Luke_Santamaria on all my social medias, on Instagram, Facebook. That's where you can find me, man.
There we go. There we
go. Follow.
We definitely look forward to following your career moving forward. And have a great day, man.
Thank you, guys. You guys will. Appreciate you guys.
Good luck in the future, brother.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. There we go, man. The one and the only Luke Santamaria. Make sure you guys check him out. Great guy. Great stuff. And there we go. All right. Andre Rodriguez, I appreciate those €2. He says 2 uppercuts. There we go. I appreciate it.
That's like $7 American. No, I'm playing. I'm terrible at math, though.
I wish. I mean, who knows? And probably now, you know what I mean? Like inflation nowadays, you know what I mean? It's probably like $100, you know? I don't know. But shout out to everybody. Shout out to Nando Llamas, LB. I actually saw DJ Mechica here earlier. Shout out to you and for the intro and all that. You know, Mario Minguia in the chat as well. Okay, AZ DJ, how are you? DZ actually, how are you? Aryan Yuda, you know, the Sinister, Big Dog Willie, Joe Lopez 40 ounce. All you guys, man, I appreciate everybody being here. And great guests, great stuff. I want to talk about this first because it's breaking news, guys. So Brandon Figueroa, according to Coppinger, has tested positive for COVID. So he will be pulling out of the fight with Fulton. I guess that means Fulton's still going to fight, probably with somebody else, or hopefully, I think they should just postpone it, but we will see. But it looks like this fight that I personally was definitely looking forward to is not going to be happening. Chief Funky, start with you. What is your reaction to this?
Well, from what I read from Coppinger, I think he said it's going to be postponed and moved to a later date. I'll double check that when I'm done talking here, but yeah, it's disappointing to hear for sure. You know, I was really looking forward to seeing the heartbreaker, or the heartbreak kid is what we call him around here. Shout out to Shawn Michaels. We're looking to see him in there with
He'll probably be making an AW debut soon at this rate. Yeah.
You're probably right.
Yeah, who knows at this point, but yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing this fight with Fulton. Very, very contrast of styles, you know, with both guys. So I was looking to see how that one was going to play out. But you know, I hope that Figueroa gets, you know, hopefully it doesn't hit him too hard. Man, COVID is a motherfucker, man. I know a few people. I've actually know someone that passed away from it a couple weeks ago. I know another person who's currently in ICU right now on a ventilator with COVID. So it's not a game, man. And you know, I just hope that. But I mean, I'm hoping. But I know this is going to happen. There's going to be people out there saying that he's scared, he's ducking, he's faking COVID and all this other shit. You guys just got to get your head out of your ass, man. Just understand that this is a real thing, man. And it's nothing to joke, man. People are losing their life, you know. So I hope that he gets better. And disappointed for sure, man.
Mario,
yeah, man, I'll be honest. I was so looking forward to this fight. I mean, the very idea when Showtime, you know, announced their schedule, it was kind of weak. You know, the Charlos weren't matched. Like, well, you know, Jamel was definitely, but you know, it was just like a lot of little fights on there that I thought were like, they were all right, whatever. But there were two things that stood out: the Mel fight, and the mini little tournament that we were going to have. I picked Luis Neri, and G-Funk's absolutely right. Like, if he was going to be scared of anybody, I thought it'd been Neri. You know, this guy was showing that he could take your head off at any point in the fight, too. You know, he's a guy who keeps power late in rounds. And so the fact that he beat that guy, he deserves his flowers. Now, am I going to pick him versus Stefan Fulton? I don't know. I don't know. But I think Fulton, it's not stupid to think he's the favorite. At the same time, Brandon has shown that he can bang with the best. This was a fight. This was a great fight. This is exactly what boxing should be. You know, the best fighting the best and earning it, not because they sell the most tickets or because, you know, they got the best TikTok or, you know, because they have all the YouTube, you know, things or whatever. It's at the end of the day about the fighting, about the boxing, about the in-ring ability and style. This presented high-level in-ring ability and style. And it's at one of the divisions that happens to be one of my favorites, too. So it's definitely a bummer. G-Funk, you were right. It is being postponed. And hopefully they get that back on the schedule relatively quick. But also to, you know, reiterate your sentiments, this is no joke, you know. And look at what Santamaria even said, too. It's like, I didn't even want to pull out from a cut because he knows how fans are, you know. So it's like this idea that these guys will go through lengths, you know, just to not have these fans who don't understand what they go through, who don't, you know, who point fingers and call people ducks and scared or whatever, you know, basically anyone on Twitter. And, you know, it's for this guy to pull out. I think it's not bad, but definitely he had to because of COVID. So hopefully it doesn't get much worse and they can reschedule it quickly.
Well said, guys. Look, I do agree that there'll be some people, you know, saying what they say. But here's what I have to say. I hope Brandon Figueroa gets better. I hope he has a speedy recovery. And I hope to see him back in the ring because that's what I like to see him do. You know what I mean? And I'm a fan of the kid. I've always said he's kind of like his older brother, but with a mean hook. You know what I mean?
Good call.
Like everyone that says, like, man, if only Omar had some power, well, that's Brandon. You know what I mean? Like that's basically what that is. So I want to see him back in the ring. I felt he had an excellent chance to win the fight against Fulton. And if it gets postponed, then that's even better. You know what I mean? I look forward to seeing the fight. I wish him the best. And that's that. The Don says HCP is war. Saluting my Dons. I appreciate the support, brother. Much appreciated. Okay. Supreme Tax says, it's me, Mario. That's what he says.
Love it.
There you go. Okay. Nalgas Flacas says UFC isn't into COVID. All right. So shout out to you.
Don't know what the hell that means, but okay.
Yeah, for whatever. Well, we know what that means. You know what I mean? But yeah, that means no ass, ladies and gentlemen. That's what that means. Look, another breaking news item I want to go over right now. I'm only the messenger. Donald Trump to commentate for Holyfield versus Belfort. Now, side note, I guess it's through the gamer part of the Triller thing, whatever the fuck that means. Okay, I'm not a gamer.
It's like another version of the commentary, I guess.
Well, there you go. Maybe gamers don't like Lampley. I don't know. Like, you know, what I guess gamers are hardcore Trumpists. I don't know, right? But nonetheless, Mario, I'll start with you with this one. What do you make of Donald Trump, the former president of the United States? Okay, look, you couldn't make a movie. Like, if I told people the former president of the United States, guys, a movie just came out, and this former president of the U.S. is totally going to announce a fight with a 60-year-old boxer versus like a 50-year-old MMA fighter in a boxing fight, while Snoop Dogg is smoking weed in the process, and Jim Lampley will come out of like a 10-year hiatus to do it or whatever the fuck it's been. I think it's been like 5 years, right? Everybody will tell, oh, come on, it's a ridiculous movie. Who the fuck's going to watch that shit, right? Like, that's not believable. But anyway, what do you make of it, Mario?
I make of it as bullshit. You know, I think that it's Triller trying to capitalize on a demographic that boxing doesn't need at all, doesn't need and shouldn't have any part of. Like, I watch boxing to escape the political climate. Okay, I watch CNN, I watch Fox News, I watch MSNBC. I see, you know, I go to political. Like, I get my take of that shit. When I come to watch boxing, I don't want any part of it. You know, so I don't care if it's, you know, like, it could be a liberal, it could be a Democrat, Republican, conservative. It does not matter. I don't want that to infiltrate my boxing. Not anymore. That time's passed. Like, you know, maybe like 10 years ago, a president could come to a boxing match, or I don't even know if that even could have happened 10 years ago, but whatever. At the end of the day, to me, it's unnecessary. You know, like, what is Trump going to provide? Let's just like start with that. What's he going to provide? And I know Triller has this, you know, history of bringing people on that don't know shit about boxing, and it's entertaining for some people. That's cool. I'm not against it. You know, it's not my favorite thing, but I'm not against it. You know, I'd rather have guys like D-Style get a shot. I'd rather have guys like Maestro G-Funk. Like, I'd rather have them get a shot, but at the end of the day, it's cool. You want to hear Snoop Dogg, you know, get super high? That's cool. Like, I'm good with that. I smoke. That's all good. All I'm saying is that this is a very specific reason that they're doing this, okay? And they're trying to attach a demographic that, again, boxing needs none of it. And I'm not talking about like Republicans or right wings. I'm talking about far right-wing extremists, you know, that come with that territory. So again, it's not about I'm not trying to turn this into a political issue. I'm trying not to turn this into a political issue. But you cannot, at this point, bring on, you know, AOC or Trump or Biden or Trump Jr., who, by the way, Trump Jr. is going to be with him. His son is going to be with him. Like, you know, what does that make any sense of? You can't continue to do these things and, you know, and try to make the puzzle fit. It doesn't. I know that the owner of Barstool, you know, is a conservative and Republican, but he owns a sporting, you know, and he's all YouTube and he's all these things. So of course it makes sense for him to be at a Jake Paul fight. You know what I mean? I don't know how much about boxing he really knows, but it lines up. It tracks. This makes 0 sense. 0 sense. You know, when's the last listen, Trump hasn't attended a fight since Mike Tyson was undefeated or something. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I digress. And by the way, if De La Hoya, you know, all the shit that happened with the Dreamers and all that, like, you got to be careful with this stuff. Were they going to do that if he was still fighting? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. I'm going to leave it there.
Make sure you guys hit my like button. Hit my like button. All right. G Funky, what's your reaction to Donald J. Trump? I mean, it's going to be huge. It's going to be a beautiful fight, a great fight. Believe me, it's going to be a great fight. Believe me.
That's actually pretty good.
I love the hands. That's perfect. That's spot on, man. But
they got to be smaller though, like little hands.
I agree with a lot of what Mario's just said. Not to get too political because I'm not big into politics myself. And so I'll just leave it at that. But I'll say this. Yeah, it's more of a shock value thing, I think, is what Triller's looking for here. You know, like a shock jock in a way. They want to get Trump on there to say something crazy. You know, who knows what he'll say? He might just start going in on Joe Biden or something live on the tele. I mean, that's what they're thinking. He's going to bring shock value to the show. I've seen a few people in the chat saying things like, well, Trump knows boxing. He used to be he used to host fights at Trump Plaza back in the 80s and 90s. I mean, just because he had events in his casino doesn't mean he knows boxing. Like, I mean, let's not get the two confused. You know, like, I've never heard the guy talk about boxing other than when he was hosting it in his hotels back then. So yeah. I agree, Mario. He does not bring nothing to the table of any kind of value to real boxing fans like ourselves. Maybe to some of the casuals and some of the people that are extremists on his side and things like that. But as far as the show goes, I think he brings zero value to real boxing fans. It's just like I said, I think he's just going to bring some shock to the telecast, and we'll see, man. Hopefully, it doesn't turn into a shit show, man. I'm honestly still thinking about getting it, even though
it's Triller.
Yeah, even though Oscar's not going to be on it, you know. Well, I mean, I figured they were kind of taking things seriously when they hired.
I think okay, hey, where are you going? That's to strip club. I'm going to strip. You're going to strip club. Yeah, I hope I don't see titties though. You know, like what do you mean? You're going to see it. It's going to happen.
Well, I mean, they hired Lampley, bro. So I was thinking they were trying to get a little bit serious about the commentating because it was so wild the last time they had an event. Bro. So that's what I was thinking. But then now you bring Donald Trump in. I mean, he said some wild shit while he was running for president, while he was president. So yeah. I expect him to do the same here. You know,
now he's off the leash.
Yeah, exactly. So I personally, I could take it or leave it at this point. I really don't care. You know.
Yeah. Now, my question is, can Trump keep up with the boxing pace? Like, is it really going to be like commentating on the fight, like
doing blow by blow?
Sort of like a jab cross, like, and then like the fight. You know how a fight just moves on. You've done fight commentary, Mario. Fight just moves on. Like, if you don't call it right then and there, other shit's already happening. Like, can Trump really like there we go? He just threw. Oh no! It looks like now. It looks like he's about to. It looks like well right now they're against the rope. Well, they're in the middle of the ring. Well, it looks like right now Belfort. Well, Holyfield. It looks like it just looks. You know. Yes, it's beautiful. Like, you know, I don't know. Like,
you know what I'm waiting for is if the panel agrees that one guy won a round, he doesn't think that guy won a round. He's just wrong.
Yo, what if he does that? What if the scorecards come and he's like fake scorecards? The other guy really won. That would be hilarious.
Hey, well, what Belfort? Like, let's say Belfort knocks out Holyfield, right? And he just says fake news. It didn't happen. Fake news. Didn't happen. No.
You gotta stand there with the face like.
I would say this though, like, should he be like? Look, I'm not a biggest Trump fan. I'm not, but should he be banned from like just commentating a fight?
No,
though?
Of course not. I think he should be used. So. I think he should be used for the things that he does understand, you know, and would make sense. Like if he wants to go talk,
like raw dogging porn stars.
Exactly. You
know what I mean? Like, he knows all about that.
I'll attend that conference. I'll attend that conference. But you know, I'm not trying to see him talk about Triller like, you know, Holyfield needs to build a wall with his gloves and
but
protective stuff. It's like I don't want to hear these two things infused.
Snoop
Like,
Dogg doesn't know shit about boxing. Though.
That's true. And De La Hoya was wasted last time, so yo, they're
he was
wild.
wasted. Yes, he's such a beautiful man.
Yo,
look how beautiful he looks. Like
that was crazy. You know,
I wonder if he'll question Belfort's citizenship or something. Like, I wonder if this guy's legal.
Vitor, what did he try to Americanize the name? But why is there no C in Victor? His name is Victor. Fake news, Victor. What does that even mean? He'll probably call him Victor Belfort. I have a feeling.
Oh, definly, 100%. He will be called Victor several times.
Victor
by several different people.
Victor, he's one of the dreamers. He's dreaming. You know, I don't know. But he's one of the good ones. He's one of the good ones. You know, like,
bro, he'll say some shit like that too.
He's not a bad amigo.
Like,
hombres, there's some bad
shout out
that hombre, good amigo. That's hilarious. Good job.
Shout out to Guido. Shout out to the Don Ali Rodriguez. I will agree with this though, and I like the fact that you also mentioned, look, you wouldn't want AOC calling a fight. Like I don't want to see politicians, period, calling fights or in sports. I don't. Either. You know, I never liked it even before. Like when ESPN or whoever would talk to the president before the Super Bowl. Like, what the fuck? I don't give a fuck what the president thinks.
Yeah, they would always make their picks, right? And it was like a thing. Like,
it was a
join
thing.
us in 15. Bush is gonna make his pick. Like, I don't give a shit.
Hey Mario, you're a big wrestling fan like myself. Remember when WWF was starting? They kept bringing in that fake Bill Clinton to all their pay-per-views.
Yes!
Like he was at WrestleMania 10. Like,
dude, he went to my favorite WrestleMania. He even went to a Royal Rumble too. I remember.
Yeah. And which is your favorite WrestleMania?
10.
Okay, all right. Bret Hart,
Owen. Okay. Yo, he did double duty. He did the job for Owen. Yo, that's some classic shit.
That's an underrated WrestleMania.
Hell
that's a tough question, man. I have
that was the first, and I know, guys. I know it's a boxing show. I know before. Hey, this is boxing. Why are you talking wrestling? I know.
Good.
Okay, I think I know, guys. Okay, but I will say. That was the first pay-per-view that it was out of the Hulk Hogan without Hulk Hogan.
Good call.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
I mean? Like, it was a new era. That's what it was.
The Lex Express, bro.
The new generation. Bro, Lex that shit everywhere.
Hey, Donald, who do you think won the fight? Well, I think Evander did a really good job, in the fight. I think he did a really good job. Why do you think he won? Because I just think he did a really good job. He did a really good job as a boxer.
He's a tremendous fighter. I would love to have him fight Antifa for me.
He's tremendous. I think Holyfield will be a better president. He'll be a better president than Joe Biden. Who wouldn't be a better president than Joe Biden? I mean, really. I mean,
Dude, you have the mannerisms down really well. You're even doing the hand thing. If you're looking on podcast, he's even doing the hand thing really well.
And there's people that talk about this dude like he's that dude. Oh, this is my alpha. Yes, I am the alpha. Like, okay, whatever you say. Okay, whatever you say.
Oh, man. I stay out of sports. Period.
But I do agree. Politicians, and this goes for Democrat and Republicans, stay the fuck out of sports.
Independents, all of them.
But whatever. You know what I mean? It's all good at the end of the day for me. You know what I mean? With that said, I'm gonna before we talk about the Canelo war thing, I want to talk about this really quick. Justine Fortune splits from Freddy Roach. Okay, he says he was blamed for Pac's, cramps and performance. Has been accused before by Roach for being a PED user. Okay, this was years ago, back in 2009, when Roach accused him of this. Okay, he does himself blame Roach and Boo Boy for having, for speaking over each other in the middle of the rounds, while trying to give instructions to Manny Pacquiao in the fight with Hughes. Okay, so he blames them for that confusion. So obviously, sour grapes, good or bad reasons. Okay, he was the strength and conditioning coach for Manny Pacquiao before Alex Ariza and after Alex Ariza left. Okay, Chief Funky, what do you make of Justine Fortune splitting from Freddy Roach after being accused or blamed for Pac's, cramps and all that good stuff?
Well, I don't blame him, to be honest with you. If I was in that situation and the dude tried to put the loss on me, I'd be like, fuck you, like I'm out of here, bro. And there, like you said, there's already been a history between those two. So it doesn't surprise me, the excuses don't surprise me from the camp. This is nothing new. They've always done this type of stuff every time they've taken a loss, whether it be from, I believe if I wear Cristo Reyes, I knock him out. We were winning this time, and my shoulder was hurting, so I swam in the seawater and it healed it. And now he's talking about leg cramps. I mean, he's had leg cramps for years. Like, at least from my understanding, for the Bradley fight, like they delayed that thing because he was like stretching his legs out because he was having calf cramps and like, I mean,
Calf
this
cramps.
this is a long running thing, and like that's why he was wearing the high socks for a little bit. I don't know if those were like compression socks or something to help with that, or maybe get some good, maybe get some blood circulating. I mean, that could be a part of it as well. He could maybe just can't move the way he used to move. So I mean, I think really to just point the finger at one guy, that's terrible, man. That's just not the way you should do it. I think if it's a team thing, then you guys have to take the loss like as a team. You can't just start blaming one guy unless something dramatic happens. I mean, like with what's his name, Emmanuel Stewart back in the day. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember the legendary nights with Hagler Hearns, but he said that somebody went in there and massaged Hearns' legs before the fight, and that messed him up. I mean that could be something to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, it is your fault. I don't know if that's a situation with Pacquiao or what. I know they were saying something about he had him running up the hills or something like the Thursday before the fight, which, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what that would do or if that would hurt him or help him. I don't know. But I just think it's pretty low class for Roach to blame it on just one guy like that. But I don't blame him for leaving because, like I said, they got a history, man. So I would have been out of there too.
That's for the record. I got to repeat. Freddy Roach had accused him of being a PED user a couple years ago. Okay, until I believe it even went to court, but they ended up dropping the lawsuit. And I guess for mutual reasons to keep working with Manny Pacquiao. I know Pacquiao stepped in and told them both to cut it out, because they both had a history of going back and forth with each other. Right? Big Dog Will, I appreciate the super chat. Says Trump will say he taught Holyfield how to fight. I taught him the jab. There was one time at the Trump Mahal, I taught him the jab. I taught him how to churn. That's a thing in boxing. Churning. A lot of guys don't churn the punches anymore. You don't really see that no more. You see how he churned it. But go ahead, Mario. Give me your thoughts.
It was he turned Holyfield from a cruiserweight to heavyweight with those Trump stakes. Yeah, listen, I agree with y'all sentiments exactly what G-Funk said. I don't blame him. They had split before in 2007, like you said, after the KO of, I think it was Jorge Solis, if my recollection recalls. Yes. And this a lot of this boils down to the training and what Freddie thought was right and wrong. He had said that they were running up Griffin Park Hills, which I'm not familiar with the area. I'm assuming those are tough. But Manny was saying he was sparring 30 rounds, a week or a day, or I don't even remember. But he said he sparred more for this fight than he did the Thurman fight. At his age, that's a tough thing to accomplish. And I wasn't super surprised, and for everything that Freddie said, Fortune got in his remarks too. He had talked about how Freddie brought in that physiologist, I think is how you pronounce it, and rubbed down his legs, like you said, G-Funk, and he bashed him for that. He said I don't know much about physiology. I don't know if that guy's ever worked with a fighter. All I know is you don't touch a fighter's legs 30 minutes before the fight. That's a direct quote. So I think it's bickering. I think that the best case scenario is Manny never fights again and they don't have to worry about each other ever again. Worst case scenario, Manny comes back and, I don't know what would happen at that point for either of them, but yeah, just hopefully Manny's, ready to move on.
I have a quick question before you go D-Style. Do any of you guys know if he was there for that Matisse fight? Because that fight, no Freddy Roach, Boo Boy was the trainer. But I'm not quite sure if he was there for that camp or not. But that was like one of those things. Was kind of, I guess, kind of a one-off thing for him. There was no top rank, none of that.
Yeah, you're right. I don't remember though.
Yeah, I can't recall either.
I can't recall either. I will say this. Let's say everything's true. Everything Roach is saying is true. Let's say, he had him sparring too much. there was guys there massaging his legs and thighs and his big calves. They were probably like this doing it, right? I think the long socks is just 'cause he's old. Like, bro, he's in his 40s. Like, that's how dudes in their 40s wear their socks, bro. No, but in all seriousness, yeah. No, but his calves, they look extra big.
They're big.
And I know the colored white does expand things on TV, though. It really does. Like, have you ever seen a boxer with white gloves? Like, they look a lot bigger. Than
they look
like
huge. You're
they
absolutely
look
right.
bigger than a dude with white gloves. It's just the way it is. But still, those are big fucking calves, bro. Right? But Roach, you're the captain of the ship, bro. You're the head trainer. Like you're the head of the ship. Like, so what? You just sat? Did he just cross your arms? Just watch it happen? And if Manny has a spectacular performance, you just reap the benefits of it. But if he doesn't have a spectacular performance, now you want to complain about it? Because it's only when Manny Pacquiao loses that Freddy Roach, speaks out like this. And I don't know if Freddy Roach, because I know earlier we had Luke Santamaria on, and he said that they don't even believe in strength and conditioning coaches. So I don't know if Freddy Roach has a little bit of like that old school, like, I don't even believe in this shit. But Manny Pacquiao wants to have these motherfuckers around, so I got to work with them. I don't know if that's what it is, and I have a feeling it is. I feel like Roach is like, I kind of wish Manny would just do the regular road work, the sparring, and just kind of, and that would be enough. He doesn't have to do all this extra shit. So when Manny says, I have cramps, like he says, he's like, okay, it's this motherfucker's fault. Because I already got him doing road work. I already have him doing sparring. I'm already doing mid work with the motherfucker. He's already hitting the speed bag and the punching bag. And, I don't know if I've ever seen Manny in a double end bag. But nonetheless, right? He hasn't working on all this stuff. Dude, like, I could see Roach getting mad about it. But at the end of the day, dude, don't get mad at the strength and conditioning coach that's in your team for this camp. Because if he's there, because Manny wants him there. You think Justine Fortune can force himself in the camp without Manny Pacquiao's wishes?
Hell no.
No, he cannot. No strength and conditioning coach can. Okay? So you can't just blame it all on him. All right? And at the end of the day, you're the head of the ship. Okay? So it's on you to manage the way everything is going. If Manny Pacquiao did in fact overtrain, that was a mismanagement on your part as the head trainer of that training camp. Okay? If you saw a dude massaging his feet or whatever, then you should have told him to stop. Okay? At the end of the day. So, I mean, look, and if Manny didn't let you, then that's not Justine Fortune's fault. Okay? That's Manny Pacquiao's fault. All right? At the end of the day. Do you think there's something to that, guys? Do you think that maybe Freddy Roach, again, I've never asked him this. I don't know if anybody ever has, but maybe he just has like I don't really believe in these strength and conditioning guys.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. I don't know if you're right, but I can say that your point is very valid, because if you remember the tumultuous relationship that he had with Ariza, a lot of the same kind of stuff came up. He would criticize Alex about what he was, putting in his body, about what he was doing physically and the exercises and routine. So that's a very good point. History seems to be repeating itself.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes for sure. I have a feeling, man, like I give it a couple of years, like strength and conditioning coaches are going to become like sacrilegious, at least in boxing, especially if positive tests keep coming out. But who does everybody blame? The strength and conditioning guy. That's the first dude, especially the ones handing out the supplements. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that goes. Oscar Valdez. He's going to be fighting Robson Conceicao. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Okay. He's a Brazilian. I saw this footage where he's hitting like the speed bag, like, and freaking Anderson Silva shows up, and he's like, "You're the campeón. You're the campeón. You will be campeón mundial." Like, basically, you're gonna be the champion of the world. Like, he's like hyping him up and stuff, and hyped me up. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was like, "Holy shit, I'm pumped up." You know what I mean? and I guess he's in the training camp with Anderson Silva as well, and which I thought was kind of cool. By the way, gold medalist, right? If I'm not mistaken. I know he's a medalist for sure. But are people overlooking him here? It seems to me like everyone's talking about, and rightfully so, is talking about the positive test of Valdez, right? But two things, and maybe you guys could point me to it because I've been really busy. I haven't seen anyone ask Conceicao what he thinks about Valdez testing positive. And he's literally the most important person to ask. Not Coppinger, not YouTubers on YouTube, not he's the dude, he's the one getting in the ring with him. Like you know what I mean? So I don't know if anyone's asked him what he thinks, that he did. Like, I have no idea, right? So I want you guys' thoughts on, just in general, on this fight, on the fact that I haven't really seen any. You could let me know, but Conceicao not really being in the mix of the conversation with his Valdez thing, right? I don't think WBC contacted him and asked him, right? So I kind of want your thoughts on that. And also, well, people put their money where their mouth is. I keep hearing a lot of, virtual signaling out here. Virtual signaling, right? Are they gonna protest this fight and not watch it? Are they gonna be like, you know what? I'm not gonna watch this fight because I don't believe this fight should be happening, for the one saying it. And will they not watch the fight? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care how dramatic this sounds. Me personally, I'm not watching this fight in protest.
The whole card or the fight?
I'm not asking anybody else to do it. It's what I'm doing.
The whole card, right? or the main event?
No, it's the main event.
Okay.
I'm not going to watch the main event because I went on record before the decision was made that I don't believe this fight should be happening. But do you think that people that are out here preaching will actually protest and not watch the fight and not cover it? Chief Funky, to start with you.
Well, I'll say this, man. The people who are doing the most bitching and moaning and crying right now are going to be the first ones with their eyes glued to the television as soon as the bell rings for round one for that fight. I can almost guarantee you that, because what they're looking for is any kind of thing to start up a new fucking narrative. If he gets dropped, oh, he was on PEDs. If he knocks him out, oh, he's on PEDs. He's on steroids. If he doesn't look that good, see, they took that stuff out of his system, and now he's this and he's that. Like, it's going to be crazy, man. But I am going to watch the fight because I watch all the fights. There's only a few times that I don't watch fights. Like, if I have to pay for a pay-per-view that is just not pay-per-view worthy, I might sit that one out. But this one's for free. This one's for free. They're not forcing anybody to watch it. They're not forcing anyone to pay for it. I know that there's ways around that, but you get what I'm saying. But I seriously doubt that these guys, and I think you make a great point, D-Style, none of them were even talking about Oscar Valdez. Like, they didn't even talk about how he still has, in my opinion, what is the knockout of the year over Alacran Berchelt. Like, they weren't protesting that. I mean, they weren't watching that fight. They weren't covering it. They weren't talking about it. None of that. It's only because the man trains with Canelo that they're making a big issue about it, and they want to cry about it. That's all it is. It's a witch hunt, man. These guys are on a witch hunt. They want to try and twist things around, and I'm sorry, man. We ain't gonna let that shit fly around here, And nobody's making excuses for him. We on Monday night, my show, all three of us agreed that he probably did take the thing, whatever, however it got into his system. He's saying he doesn't know. I'm pretty sure his lawyers are telling him to say that, but we all agreed that he probably did take it. So nobody's making excuses for him. What we're doing is we're trying to tell the fans out there that you can't listen to these accusations that he's on steroids or that he's using this as a masking agent. That's been debunked by a toxicologist, all right? An expert in drugs. So there's nothing you guys could say, You want to say he used the stimulant to help him lose weight? Perfectly fine. If you don't want to watch the fight in protest, perfectly fine. I have no issue with that, but don't just jump on the bandwagon all of a sudden. All right, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nando Yama says there has been some penalty. There has to be some penalties regardless. Strip Valdez and let the fight go forward, he says. Boxing Day says HCP with the boxing glove and the fire. Much appreciated. A shout out to everybody out there. Mario? Well, actually, G-Fuck you. Well, what do you make really quick about? Because I know I kind of loaded the whole thing, so I apologize. But Conceicao,
Oh yeah,
I haven't really seen him involved in this conversation when he's the fighter fighting him.
I know he's been pretty silent on this, so that's an interesting question. I feel like they probably should. We should try to get some sound bites at him or something. Maybe HCP can pull some strings. And maybe get him on. We'll see. But he's definitely. I'm definitely curious to hear what they said, or if they asked him if he even cared. If the test came back like that. So that's an interesting thing, man. You got me thinking now.
For sure. Mario, and I'll let you respond to this right now, G-Fuck, but let Mario go first really quick. But big dog, what it says, pathetic, G-Funky.
He's a fanboy. He's a Wilder fanboy. It's all.
But as far as Mario, so those two things. What do you think about Conceicao not really being involved in this conversation the way he should be? Right. Now, let's be honest. If when Canelo got popped, Triple G was involved in the conversation. You know what I mean? So that is what it is. I don't know if he just doesn't have access to media or what. That part, and also. Will you be protesting the fight? Will you be watching the fight? And do you think people that are really against it happening will boycott is the word, not protest, boycott the fight?
I think that the majority of people that say they'll boycott are going to end up watching. I personally am going to watch because I didn't fail a drug test. So why should I be punished? No, but the thing is this. Look, first of all, you're absolutely right. Robson Conceicao, I think is how you say it. He is either silent or he's being silenced. But I guarantee you, if he loses this fight, he's going to come out and talk that talk. This is a big money fight for him. There's a big opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And if in his mind, he's thinking, if this guy had to do this, then, his legs might not be there. There's a lot of implications for this that aren't just, the stuff behind the scenes that we keep hearing with Reynoso Camp and Canelo and Ryan Garcia and all the other bullshit that gets mixed in. The two things for me are this. If we should be protesting anybody, it should be the WBC. It should be Top Rank for, not replacing it. Like, I don't know that he took anything for sure. None of us do, right? This fight should have been stopped. They should have done a formal investigation. And at the end of that conclusion, then they can say, look, he took it. We're going to suspend him, blah, blah. Or this was really an accident. This truly wasn't. Things happen. I'm not trying to make excuses. The fight should not be happening. The WBC should not be sanctioning, but those are the ones that we should be protesting. At the end of the day, this guy's going to get a payday as well, the Brazilian. And again, it's a good card. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have to be punished, because I didn't fucking do shit. So why should I have to miss one of the better top ranked cards? And so, as far as the main event, just tuning out, if it was going to affect anybody's bottom line, I probably would take that stance. For me, it's going to be on TV no matter what I do. These guys are going to get paid what they're going to get paid no matter what I do, no matter what any of us do. Supposedly the card has done really well with tickets. Supposedly, there's a lot of money into it. And that's probably one of the reasons they tried so hard to keep this thing above board and try to pull it off. But ultimately, the right thing is not happening. And it's hard for me to blame them about it, or at least put the punishment on myself to not watch it.
Well said. Now, I will say this. First of all, if Conceicao was involved in a conversation and came out and said, you know what, whatever, I want to fight him. You know what I mean? This is a big opportunity for me. I want to become world champion. You know what I mean? So I believe I could beat him anyway. Whatever it is. It would make it easier for me to watch it, but I just don't know what his take is, So, because I just don't see it out there. It's not out there. He's not involved in the conversation. That's bizarre to me that he's not involved in it. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell's going on?
They got to be silencing him for sure.
If they are, that's crazy. It
is.
Joe Lopez 40 ounce says the WBC is a joke. I do agree with that for the most part. Shout out to Joe Lopez 40 ounce. Really quick, my thoughts on Valdez here and this whole situation. Look, I already mentioned that I will be boycotting the fight for my conscience. That's it. I'm not asking anybody else to do it. You guys can do whatever you want. I'm not saying if you don't do it, you're a terrible person. That's just what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be watching something else. I'll watch Holyfield Belfort with Trump, saying how tremendous it is or something. I'll watch something else. So it kind of is what it is. Somebody said you'll watch the highlights. Of course I will. I cover boxing. I got to watch something. You know what I mean? But that's it. Valdez, Conceicao. How do you think this fight's going to go, G-Funky?
I think Valdez beats him, I feel like he's, in the groove right now. He's riding high off of that big win of Burchelt. And I feel like he's going to beat him, although, you can't underestimate anybody. And I have not seen a whole lot of footage on his opponent. So, I hope he's not underestimating him or anything like that. But I do think he's going to get the win in impressive fashion. And we'll see what happens after the fight. I know that there's going to be some of the commentators had some things to say who will be commentating the fight. So that's another thing to be listening for too. That's another reason why I'm going to be watching, because I want to see, the coverage and how that goes,
Absolutely. All right. Mario, what did you say win this fight, brother?
I think that before all this controversy, I would have probably easily said Valdez, despite the fact that I do think that Conceicao is going to provide a good performance. Now I'm a little more on the fence. I mean, I still think Valdez wins this fight, but this is a fight that's not going to be a walk in the park. In fact, I think this could be tougher than Burchelt. Like that night, that's the other part of this, right? People keep trying to, Valdez has been dirty and now he's dirty, and that explains the Burchelt. No, it doesn't. Either you believe in these tests or you don't. You cannot allow somebody to fail a test and then say, well, the ones he passed, he cheated. Like either you believe or you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not, if it's negative and it fits my narrative, well then sure I believe. But if it doesn't fit my narrative, well then it's fake. Like that's the same bullshit that we get all day on Twitter.
That's the karate thing, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
So it's just tough. It's tough for me to sit here and really truly analyze the fight. I've seen not a lot, but I've definitely seen some of Conceicao's highlights and some of his fights and stuff. He puts his punches together really well.
He's good.
He's strong too. He's a lot stronger than he looks. He's got thick ass legs. If you see him, he's got really not Manny Pacquiao calves, but he definitely is strong. He's a strong guy. Ultimately, the one last point I do want to make, as far as G-Funk had brought up the commentators, like I have no problem with D-Style saying he's not going to watch this fight, and I respect it because he's not trying to like sabotage Top Rank or Oscar Valdez. This is a personal choice based on his morality, and I 100% respect that. What I don't respect is the people coming out and saying, well, Ward and Bradley talking shit, they should stage a walkout, they should do this, they should do that. Like, who are you to tell these guys to do that? Like, if they wanted to do that, then all power to them. But this is a paid gig that's going to happen no matter what, and they'll just find somebody else. Like, there's not enough jobs out there for retired boxers that they could just be throwing away these gigs. So ultimately, I have no respect for anybody who's, trying to, make this a moral argument for Ward or Bradley to, stage a walkout. That's crazy. This isn't, LA in the 70s, disrespecting Hispanic kids and testing. Like this is, a situation that we don't fully understand still. Should it be happening? No. Again, I say this, WBC shouldn't have sanctioned it. The fight should have been postponed or canceled, depending on a thorough investigation. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. This is boxing, and these guys got to make a living.
High and Low says, boxing spoken in style while you are listening to D-Style Boxing. You know what I mean? So of course, no doubt about that. You know what I mean? Alexis says, HCP, much appreciated. Shout out to you. And a lot of people saying, bruh, illegal stream. Oh, and by the way, I almost missed it. Afro-Rican G with a super chat as well. I appreciate the support, brother. As always, shout out to Afro-Rican G. Shout out to you. Always sending me memes and stuff, making me laugh and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? So there you go. We will see how this fight goes. And if Conceicao gives a public with his words, by the way. I don't know, not some top rank, letters on the screen.
PR
okay.
Statement.
And not a top ranked statement with his quote. No. If he comes out and says, "Look, I want this fight. I'm all for this fight. Please watch this fight," then I'll watch it. But I haven't heard him say shit other than just hit a speed bag, and Anderson Silva like pumping him up, while he's doing it. You know what I mean? Like so that's all I seen. So that one is what it is. Let me play this, and then we'll. I don't know if you guys have heard, by the way, for everybody out there, okay, that we have a sponsor. And the sponsor is Loyal Roots. LoyalRoots.com. So a word from our sponsor. We'll be right back.
I am the underdog, misjudged and overlooked. Some say I don't belong. I shouldn't be here. I can't keep up. I won't last. I'm not good enough, not well connected. I haven't paid my dues. But guess what? I don't care. I won't listen. I can't stop. I won't stop. I refuse. I know what is within me, even if you can't see it. I have more passion than skill. I have more grit than finesse. I am unafraid to fail. I am all these things, and I am more. I dream. I believe. I hustle. I struggle. I grind. I succeed. And I repeat these steps every day. It's my process. I am a creative. So, who are you?
Yeah, who are you? You know what I mean? Who are you, G-Funky?
Bro, they got some nice gear. They have a shirt with every girl I had a crush on in the 90s. Topanga, Kelly.
Yeah, you see that one?
I'm gonna get it. I gotta get it.
There we go.
Back to my first love. Gotta get it. Winnie Cooper. Shout out.
That's right. There you go. So everybody check that out. Hey, so really quick topic. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I just found this interesting. So Maxi Hughes, who won the IBO world title against was it Strafan? I think that was the dude's name. Okay, it was an upset win. It wasn't a matchroom card. It was a 12-round fight. I was wondering why it was 12 rounds, and I found out because the IBO was on the line. He's challenging Devin Haney. He wants to fight Devin Haney. And now I keep hearing that nobody wants to fight Devin Haney. Everyone's running from the hills. Like, have you heard that Iron Maiden song? Like, run to the hills. Everybody's running. Everybody's scared. Nobody wants to fight him. Well, here's the guy that wants to fight him. Now I'm not saying, look, make no mistake about it. I think Devin Haney easily outboxes him. That's the feeling I get. Like, I think it's an easy, unanimous decision, 10 rounds to 2, 11 rounds to 1 type fight. Did you guys, first of all, get a chance to watch Hughes fight Strafan this weekend?
I did. There's a lot to like about this guy. First of all, he's in tremendous shape. Mm-hmm. That's first of all. 100%. I think two of the judges, I think, had it a shutout, and I would be okay with the shutout, maybe 1 round or so for Strafan. But listen, Giovanni just did not show up. He did not show up. And Maxi Hughes also is now, I think, inked a deal with Matchroom as well. Eddie Hearn, has a good relationship with the Haneys. So I think this is something that could be done. Should he take it, though? I mean, this is a situation where this guy should have fought JoJo. He should have fought Ryan. The list goes on and on with guys that this guy should have fought. This is not the prize at the end of the rainbow. You know what I'm saying? And no offense to Maxi Hughes, he's just not that guy yet. But at the end of the day, if he can't find anybody, which doesn't seem like Devin, in a situation where no one's stepping up to the plate, this isn't a bad fight if he wants to close out the year and then really push the pedal to the metal for 2022. But ultimately, this isn't it for me with Devin. I think he deserves more.
Chief Funky, did you get a chance to watch that fight?
Yes, I did. It was a pretty interesting fight.
Were you bored out of your mind like me, or did you? I'll tell you why. Because Strafan was making no adjustments, and the fight gets really boring if there's no adjustments being made.
It was very one-sided.
Yeah, he he didn't show a whole lot of head movement. That's for sure. Not a lot of adjustments, like you guys said. But you know, it wasn't that bad for me to say it was like boring. But you know, I don't know what it is about him. Like he's a decent boxer, you know, Hughes. And he's got a real sneaky left hand, you know, and he's a southpaw. So I mean, there are some things there that I like and that I can work with. You know, I'm like, okay, I can kind of see, you know, I can kind of work with this guy a little bit, but there's definitely something missing. You know, I'm not sure if it's like hand speed or what, you know, but he does have a really sneaky left hand. He's got a way of looping that thing around when guys don't see it. Maybe it was because, you know, his opponent wasn't moving his head much. That could be a big part of it. But as far as his fight, I mean, as far as I'm calling out Haney, it's definitely not the fight that we want to see at 135 pounds for Devin Haney. But you know, if he can't get a deal with somebody on the other side of the street, you know, as we like to say here in boxing, this wouldn't be a bad fight. You know, I think Haney beats him and beats him convincingly. But you just never know. Like I said, a guy who can land a sneaky left hand from that southpaw position could give anybody some trouble, you know. But I don't think that would happen against Devin Haney. I would definitely pick Haney to win that fight. If it happens, we'll see. I mean, it's not bad, but again, it's definitely not what we want to see.
Puros Sur Central, I appreciate the $2 super chat. Much appreciate. And the Don says, at least Devin Haney is staying active. And I appreciate the support as well. Shout out to you, brother. What's going on to Sonteo Media? I mean, it wouldn't be the party without Sonteo. You know what I mean? That's why I have the Sonteo Media clipboard. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, yeah, I don't think he could be Devin Haney. but I just found it interesting because he wants to fight him. He's like, yo,
I get that.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like there's a whole room, and who wants to fight Haney? And everybody's like, and Hughes is like in the back, ooh, me, ooh, pick me. Like, you know. So if nobody else wants to fight him, then I think an individual like this should be rewarded with a good payday and get the fight. You know, if I don't think he could win, that's one thing, but he has a right to prove me wrong, I guess, you know, by all means. So yeah. I wish him nothing but the best. Okay. I want to ask you guys a tough question. Who is the Hispanic causing panic of the week? Who do you got? Chat. Let me know what you guys say. Who's the Hispanic causing panic of the week? What do you guys think? What do you got?
Well, I want a clarification because I actually like when I knew I was coming on the show, I started thinking about it, right? And I had my answer right away, but then I was like, wait a minute, I need clarification because panic we have used in like a positive way, right? And I love that, you know.
There's no rules.
But it's okay, no rules. Then to me, the guy causing the most panic, who also is Hispanic, has got to be Oscar Valdez. Like, who out here, tell me right now, who out here is causing more panic than that guy the last 7 days?
Hey, you can make that argument, right? It doesn't have to be positive. There's no rule that says, okay.
Panic is panic, and he causing it.
Oh, man, you caught me off guard with that one. Chief Funky, but I like it. Chief Funky. Who's a Hispanic causing panic of the week?
Well, I mean, I could agree with that. You know, there's no rule on whether it's good panic, bad panic. It's definitely bad panic, that's for sure, from Valdez. So I'm going to go with something good, man. And I know we were talking a little pro wrestling earlier in the show, but I'm going to go with the Lucha Bros, man, becoming the AEW Tag Team Champions over the weekend, man.
That's my vote.
They beat the Young Bucks and had a hell of an entrance out to that match, and I'm going with the Lucha Bros, man. There wasn't a whole lot of Hispanics causing panic this weekend in boxing as far as like the fights go. Like Lara got a cut over his eye from, in my opinion, was an intentional headbutt. The fight ends in a technical draw. So I mean, I'm going with the Lucha Bros, man. That's what I'm going with.
It's a good pick.
Well, I'm just saying. By the way, TLD, Haney's not the one pursuing Hughes. It is Hughes pursuing Haney. It's in fairness. I just want to throw that out there. Okay. Someone says Amanda Runner. Well, Amanda already won it last week. I gave it to her last week. Amanda Serrano, shout out to her. It could have been a trainer. You know what I mean? He's caused a lot of
Yeah, he caused
you know what I mean? Mauricio Suleiman. Somebody say Mauricio Suleiman. Could he be
That's
the Hispanic causing panic
That's up
of the week? 'Cause, you know what I mean? Like that's somebody. Okay. I like Jesus Ramos. Okay. Jesus Ramos on the PBC card on a Sunday right before we start NFL season, doing his thing, looking impressive in my opinion, passing a test and getting ready for the next level. You know what I mean? I don't know if the chat wants to throw another name that can impress me to throw him in there. What about Eddie Reynoso? Can he be the Hispanic causing panic of the week?
It's all bad pub. It's all bad pub.
Big Dog Willie says G Funky. Should G Funky be nominated as a Hispanic causing panic of the week? What about Teofimo Lopez saying he ain't gonna give Loma a rematch? Can that be
panic in the Loma fanboys? That's for sure.
definitely.
You know, but I don't know. People are really on Suleiman. What did I say? Should I put Suleiman in the poll or not?
I think he's earned it. I think he's definitely earned it. You know what I mean? So I think he steals it though at this point. If I would have thought of him,
I accidentally pressed submit and I didn't get to do it, but it's okay. Well, here's what we'll do. I just put on the poll Hispanic causing panic of the week. Will I be getting messages like, "Oh, how dare you give it to Valdez?" And I don't know, but I'll post what I'll post. It's on there. We have Lucha Bros. We have Oscar Valdez. We have Jesus. I put Ramores, but it is what it is. I apologize. Okay, so vote on the poll. We'll keep the poll open, and we're going to go on to our next topic here. I don't know if you guys have seen the new movie coming out. You know what I mean? Although it's playing out in real life. I had a little bit of deja vu. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, you know, retired African-American fighter, once considered the best in his weight class, coming back, helping a white dude, prepare for a monster of the division to win back the titles he won had. I don't know if you guys know this. Unless I'm mistaken, and I'm going off the dome, I didn't research it because I'm that confident, but I could be wrong, obviously. I do believe Andre Ward had all the belts except the IBF. And the IBF was held by Lucien Butte, was not in the Super 6, and then he ended up losing it to Carl Froch, right? So Canelo literally has all the belts, including the ring belt. He has all the belts that Andre Ward had when he won the Super 6. That's what Canelo Alvarez has right now. He has his titles, and Andre Ward wants something like he wants to win it back together. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. So I don't know if you guys have seen this here, but we're gonna go ahead and play it. All right, and we'll talk about it.
That's not the way to do it. Who's that? But you hit it straight. Huh? Step into it.
Apollo?
Right. I waited at your house for about an hour and your wife said you might be here.
What are you doing here?
Business. Listen. It's quiet, isn't it? When you're retired, it's too quiet. I mean, we're too young to retire anyway. We held the greatest title in the whole world, babe. Maybe we could win it back together. Eye of the tiger, man.
Dun, 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 dun. Let me tell you something. Let's start with you, G Funky. Andre Ward is training with Caleb Plant. Does it matter? Does it mean anything to you? Is it going to give him some type of edge, mentally, whatever it is? It's going to help him. Well, what do you think?
Well, here's what I'll say. Look, I was an Andre Ward fan. He came up here, Northern California, Oakland. I'm from Sacramento, not that far of a drive. So I always supported him. I mean, early on in his career, I'll say this, though. I had a friend who was a light heavyweight fighter at the time. He had just started his career. He had about maybe 3-4 fights. And they actually offered him the fight with Andre Ward for Andre Ward's debut fight on HBO. They ended up going with somebody else. But, during that time, we would hear a lot of things coming from guys who were, coming from that gym or from an area where Ward would train, and they would come to our gym. And, we would hear certain things about how he was chinny and how he's protected and things like that. So he kind of had to grow on me. I did not expect him to win that Super 6. He ends up doing it. He earned my respect, man. And, I became an Andre Ward fan after that. He's a great fighter, no doubt about it. My thing is this with, and I use this in all sports. Like, there's a reason why you don't see many great fighters or great athletes in other sports become like coaches and trade trainers and stuff like that. Like, I feel like a lot of the things that makes these guys great is instincts, having instincts in the ring and during a game and stuff like that. Those are things that you just can't teach somebody. Sure, he can teach Caleb Plant, to throw a jab a little bit differently or something like that. But I just feel like the things that made Andre Ward are things that he can't teach to Caleb Plant. They're two different fighters. Their styles are completely different. And I just don't know. I mean, I feel like if he really wanted to try to, I don't know if he's trying to fight like Ward or whatever. Like, this should have been something that should have been done 2-3 fights ago. When you seen Canelo coming up to your weight division, winning belts, saying that he wanted to be undisputed, I feel like you should have made the move then. Doing it now, I think might be a little bit too late to see any kind of impact that Ward would have on Caleb Plant. Plus, and I've said this a lot, I just don't have a lot of confidence in Plant. He's very, very untested. This is going to be, everybody's untested until they fight somebody. Well, this is his somebody for the first time. And this is a hell of a somebody to be fighting for your first time step up, in Canelo Alvarez. So this is going to be a tough task for him. I don't think Ward will make a difference in the fight, to be honest with you. I think, like I said, it should have took 2-3 camps, not just one. That's my opinion on it.
Absolutely. By the way, Valdez is winning the poll. Okay, just FYI, guys, keep voting. Okay, you have till the end of the show to keep voting. Shout out to Teresa D. Says, "Who's down with HCP?" Hey, Chief Funky, are you down with HCP?
You know me.
That's right. What about you, Mario? Are you down with HCP?
For life.
For life. I like it. Shout out to Teresa D. I appreciate the support. Okay, HLD says, facts, Chief Funky. Barry Bonds was the greatest baseball batter, but the worst baseball hitting coach. Well, I don't know anything about that. I mean, was he? I don't know.
He did coach. He was a hitting coach for the Marlins, but they got rid of him.
Choice sucked. He was fired. You don't want to criticize an alumni of the Giants. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. You know what I mean? We're not going to pressure you to do that. Mario, what do you think of the movie? I'm sorry. What do you think about Andre Ward training with or Caleb Plant kind of asking for his services here? Training with Andre Ward. What do you make of it?
I think that it's great publicity. I think that it's an infusement of positivity, I guess, for a fight that was just drenched in negativity from the beginning. They had to play damage control with Canelo and Plant because of how many failed negotiations spanning back 12, 14 months, something like that, maybe less than that, maybe like closer to 10. But I think that, so over the weekend, right, we're watching the AEW pay-per-view, and a couple of my cousins and a friend, they're casuals, they all asked me the same question, individually at different times. They're like, so you think if Caleb loses, that Ward will step in to fight Canelo? And that's what is the genius of this. For casual fans, that is the hook, right? They think that Ward sending out, the guy to get to the guy, right? He's got to fight Goro before he gets to Shang Tsung. And that's brilliant. If that makes people tune in and watch, that's great. And then you can say that the mission has been accomplished. Does it help him? No, absolutely not. In my opinion, Andre Ward is one of the greatest fighters of this era, certainly of the last 20 years or so. And what he does great cannot be taught necessarily. It can be taught, but you have to have those abilities, just like you have to have the eyes and the instincts of a Floyd to be able to duplicate that style. You can't just say, I'm going to teach you the Floyd style and have Floyd actually do it and expect to go out there and accomplish it. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, Usain Bolt could teach me his technique and all this stuff. I ain't gonna run as fast as Usain Bolt. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just that's just the fact of life. You know what I mean? So well said. I mean, I remember I think it was Charles Barkley. Like he was being interviewed and someone told him, "Oh, why don't you just copy the way Tiger Woods does it?" He's like, "Well, I don't have the same dimensions and body type of Tiger Woods. I can't swing the way Tiger Woods swings." You know what I mean? I got to look at someone who's like a golf player that's taller, you know, try to emulate that more. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, look, I don't know. I feel I just want to watch it again. I'm sorry. Okay. For those that just came in, and then I'll give my thoughts on this, but I just need to watch it again.
That's not the way to do it. Who's that? You hit it straight, huh? Step into it.
Apollo?
Right. I waited at your house for about an hour and your wife said you might be here.
What are you doing here?
Business. Listen. It's quiet, isn't it? When you retire, it's too quiet. I mean, we're too young to retire anyway. We held the greatest title in the whole world, babe. Maybe we could win it back together. Eye of the tiger, man.
Okay, look. All right. This idea that Andre Ward's going to show up and give this dude a crash course on how to fight like Andre Ward is hilarious to me. Okay. I'm sorry. All right. Like, bro, he's holding his hand up, like telling him how to throw a jab, brother. You're about to fight Saul Canelo Alvarez. I would hope you know how to throw a fucking proper jab already. I would hope, right? I would think. Plus, and everyone will just assume that this is a good thing. It's not always a good thing when you have conflicting coaching, okay? When you have a head coach already who has a system in place and that has worked for you up until this point, and then you're going to just throw a monkey wrench into it, and it shows me that you're not that confident in yourself. That's what it shows me. What do you mean? That you haven't called Andre Ward before? You never done something this drastic before. You're not confident or what? You don't think you can do it? Is that what it is? You need Andre Ward? It sounds like you're scared. I'm just playing. I don't think he's scared, but I'm just talking shit. But at the end of the day, I'm not impressed by this. I'm not impressed by it. Well, what is Andre Ward going to teach Plant in what training camp? You know the difference between this and Rocky 3? Rocky 3 is a movie. That's the difference. Okay. You know, Rocky came out and he was like, you know, all fast all of a sudden, throwing blazing combinations, and you know, he was like lighting his feet like a Sugar Ray Robinson out of nowhere. And it was just like a whole transformation. Transformations happen in Dragon Ball. They don't happen in boxing. He's not gonna transform. Okay. He's not going to power up. He's not going to become a different fighter. You're not going to see Andre Ward in there. If anything, he might try to do some Andre Ward stuff that Andre Ward took his whole life to master, and he's going to end up paying for it. That's what's going to happen. All right? That's what I think. What happened when Andre Barry was trying to fight like Floyd against Robert Guerrero?
Oh, man. That was awful.
Robert took a moment to is he really doing this? Okay, I guess. And then he hit it with a lead, and then it was a wrap. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm not that impressed with it, to be honest with you. I get it's good for publicity. I get all that. You know what I mean? I get that. I get that aspect of it, but I want to look at it a little deeper than that. Is it about the fight? Is it about him helping Plant, or is it about Andre Ward? Maybe not wanting to see Canelo accomplish what he didn't accomplish in his weight class. What do you guys think?
That's a good question. Good question. Yeah. Excuse me. I don't know if that's the case or not. But I do think there is a possibility because I see Ward as he's a very competitive guy. He didn't like to lose. So I could see somebody, I don't know when was his last fight with Cole. I think that was 2017. So within 4 years now, he's like somebody's going to go into the division that I was in and clean it up, grab all the belts, which I couldn't do with Butte. We obviously talked about that earlier. So I think there could be a little bit of that going on there, a little bit of competitive spirit there out of Ward. And who knows, like Mario said, maybe he might come out of retirement, challenge for all the belts, man. Who knows? We'll see. I would love to see that fight.
Setting the framework.
I mean, is Andre Ward in the beach right now running with Caleb Plant with short shorts, right? And is Caleb Plant is he going to beat him by the end of the training camp? And are they going to be jumping in the air in slow motion, hugging each other? Is that going to happen?
Oh, I hope not. That
was
a thing? Weird to see.
I don't know. I would rather see the handshake from the arm wrestling movie with Sylvester Stallone. That's what I would like to see.
Him and Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, or I don't know what it is. Let me put it this way: is Ward going to give him that speech? There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. Is he going to get that speech?
You know what? He just might because, like I said, him and Plant, they're totally different fighters, man. I don't think he's going to turn him into, I hope he's not trying to turn into full Andre Ward. Maybe he's just trying to get a little pointers here and there. But if that is the case, I think you're going to hear, God damn, come on, Rock. Come on, man. What the hell's wrong with you? And then Plant's looking at Ward like, hey, yo, Apollo.
It's Plant's wife yelling you can't win. I just want the $10 million. Is that what she's saying? Is that what's happening right now? You know what I mean?
Could be, man.
When he hits you,
I can hear that.
If that orbital bone crack, you go down. You hear me? You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, let me just tell you something. Well, Al was acting kind of funny about making the fight, trying to get Canelo in that long-term contract. He was trying to protect you because he loves you. But anyway, oh, come on, everybody on YouTube, the dude drinking Modelo saying, I ain't never fought nobody. That's what they saying right now. He did it to protect you because he loved you. Because he wanted the best for you. That's Caleb Plant. Okay. Nando Llamas with the super chat. Caleb Plant's mouth getting trained by Greg Haugen, though. Ooh. Well, let me tell you something. I like the trash talk, I'm not gonna lie.
Chavez put a beating on him.
That's right. Who's leading the poll right now? Hispanic causing panic of the week right now. Oscar Valdez 65%. Lucha Bros 14%. Jesus Ramos 21.
Oh, Lucha Bros get no love, man.
None.
No, they don't know who it is. That's what it is, But, okay, Mr. G, how's it going, brother? How you doing? Hey, with that said, any final thoughts you guys have about this Caleb Plant, Andre Ward thing?
I'll just say that I think that the fight for me comes down to a lot of other facets that have nothing to do with Ward and how he fought and how he can teach. I think Caleb Plant's the fighter that he's going to become fight night. What would have made the difference to me is if Caleb Plant had a Jamal Charlo win on his resume, or if he had a David Benavidez win on his resume. If I knew that he could have gone in those big lights and beaten an opponent of that caliber, then maybe I see a universe where he's, he beats Canelo, or he's at least a 50-50 going in that fight, something. At this point, Caleb Truax and some of the others, they do not do it for me. I think that he's either blinded by the lights or he's blinded by Canelo's punches, but I don't think the word thing helps.
Blinded by the light.
Love that song.
Great tune. Great tune.
It's that HCP spirit. Everybody sings around here. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Really quick, guys. What do you make of Tito? This is the most random fight ever, by the way. Tito Ortiz against Anderson Silva in an 8-round cruiserweight fight. You know what I mean? Like it's the most random boxing fight.
MMA or boxing?
They're gonna box. That's what makes it bizarre. Like, why are they gonna box? That's like, imagine if like, just try to imagine like Roy Jones, Tyson. They agree to fight, guys. Oh, okay. Like you're trying to just like remember when that was announced. You're just trying to digest that for a little bit, and then just throw a curveball at you. It's gonna be an MMA fight. Like, wait, what? Like MMA? Like, what the fuck? Like, are Roy Jones and Mike gonna be working on their Brazilian jiu-jitsu? Like their BJJ? Like what the fuck's going on over here? But
I've seen Junior Dos Santos once in too. It's crazy.
What?
Yeah.
I just don't. Why don't they do MMA? Isn't that what they do? Isn't that what they're best at?
I think that they've gotten to a point where they're no longer at the top level in MMA. So what they're trying to do is fight this niche in boxing. It's like, could I have ever beaten Evander Holyfield? Like if you're Junior Dos Santos, Anderson Silva, Tito Ortiz, and you're asking yourself that, the answer is no. And you know that. You could never beat those guys in their prime. You couldn't even beat those guys when they were on their downslide. But, at their age now, in a boxing match, like that was the whole Chavez thing. Like Chavez wasn't, taking it serious anymore. He wasn't as good. So does this guy like Silva, who had decent hands, does he, beat him? And then we got that answer. And now it's like this bizarre thing, like you said. Like, I don't know. Like, is this like another version of the sport where it's like MMA guys only fighting boxing? It's crazy. It's crazy.
I don't know. Devin Hayes in the card, by the way, fighting a dude I never heard of. I don't know who is this guy. I don't know who it is. It's the most random fucking fight. Like Triller's random, bro. Like, oh yeah, Holyfield's he's fighting Victor Albert, and Trump's the commentator. Like, wait, what? Like, our brains only have a moment to like digest it. Like, whoa, wait a minute. I wasn't done with part one. What do you mean 6-year-old Holyfield's back? He's back. What the fuck? Like, I'm calling it a comeback. Don't tell me to not call it. That shit's a comeback. I've ever seen one, right? But I just want to know, what do you mean? Like, just imagine, hey guys, Tito Trinidad is going to be fighting Oscar De La Hoya in a kickboxing Muay Thai fight. Like, what the fuck? Why?
Bro, it's crazy. And it's like so last minute, that they're not going to be in like great shape or, it's crazy.
Are they on mushrooms when they come up with these ideas? Like, yo, we should get Trump on this shit, brother.
It's the most miscellaneous collection of fighters ever.
Let's get De La Hoya super drunk and let's put a live mic in his face.
It's like De La Hoya Belfort was random as fuck. It's the most random fight ever put together. And then like every time I say, "Oh, Triller can't get more random," that shit, they prove me wrong. You know what I mean? Okay, so De La Hoya Belfort's off, ladies and gentlemen. So now we're gonna put Holyfield. Like, whoa, like his son? No, Holyfield Senior, like the Holyfield, 6-year-old. Like what? Oh yeah, Trump's totally gonna be there, like commentating. Like, okay.
Oh my god,
it's gonna be like
Chief, what are your thoughts, brother?
Oh, I'm like dying over here, bro. Like, this is the most random shit ever, man. Like, Tito Ortiz and still gonna box. Like, oh,
isn't it random, Mario?
Super random.
It's just crazy. The randomness, like, bro. I'm like, why? What good will come out of it? Like, what will we learn? Like if Tito knocks out Anderson Silva, like, does it prove he's a better MMA fighter now, or what? Like, what does it do?
Here's the thing. I think the only person that really has anything to gain is Anderson Silva after beating Chavez and then to beat Victor Ortiz, not Victor, Tito Trinidad. Then it's
don't give him any ideas.
Don't give him ideas, right? Then it's like, I mean, look, we know what that means. We know that these guys could never hang with the, Bivol or Betterby. Like, we know that. But, for the casual fan that really probably couldn't even name a guy in the cruiserweight division, I don't know. I don't know if this gives Anderson Silva the clout that he's looking for from casual fans. So, I don't know. He's probably the only one to really gain. I can't see Tito really gaining much. I don't even think he fights anybody for real after this. Like, if they put him in the ring with David Haye, the winner of David Haye, they're going to be murdered. It's just going to happen. Like, it's crazy.
So what happens if like Snoop Dogg just randomly he gets a mic, he's like, fuck Donald Trump, fuck Donald, while Trump's there. Like, what?
So PR.
Bro, I gotta watch this, bro. I'm probably gonna buy it. That's how
Bro,
full I am.
I think I might take Trump in that fight. I mean, have you seen what Snoop Dogg looks like? Like, I mean, that dude is like 100 pounds soaking wet with steel toe boots on.
He'll get him with the distance, with the jab. You know what I mean? Like, he'll say the distance.
Hey, all Trump needs is one good shot to the body. He might have a couple of cracked ribs on Snoop Dogg.
Let me tell you, Trump has Secret Service. You know what I mean? I think he'll be all right. You know, shoe shots, shoulder pandering to MMA crowd. But are they? I just think they're being random as fuck. Like, I just that's how I feel. Like, they're just like, I honestly feel like they have a bunch of names, like, and they just like pick them out of a hat. Like, well, like, I think that's what it is. You know what I mean? Honestly.
Whoa. I'm on Triller's website, and they actually have co-main event Holyfield Belfort and Ortiz Silva as the main event.
Oh.
On their website, it literally says co-main event Holyfield Belfort, main attraction Tito Ortiz, Anderson Silva. Of course, they're also, promoting the Jaw Rule versus Fat Joe versus that's going to be on there.
Wait. Are they going to box or are they going to rap?
So you remember how the Locks and Dipset did their thing after the damn, what fight was it? That. Who was it? The Big Baby. No, it wasn't Big Baby. Who was it?
You're asking me like, do you remember? Do you know? No, I don't know anything about that.
What was it? The American heavyweight. What's his name? Damn, I can't remember. His name.
Anderson, Jared Anderson. Right?
No, not Jared Anderson. It was the one that gave. Anyway, whatever. At Triller's last card, they had this versus thing that they do, right?
The guy that fought Usyk, right? I think I know who you mean.
No, not Usyk. The guy that fought
Usyk.
Pavetkin.
Oh.
And did really well against Pavetkin.
Oh, Hunter.
Thank you.
Hunter, yeah.
That was bothering me.
Usyk beat him at cruiserweight,
yeah. He beat him at cruiserweight. Thank you. Yes. They had on his card. They had the Locks versus Dipset. Which, it had a lot of buzz on social media and YouTube and everything. But this time they're doing Fat Joe versus Ja Rule. So they're going to do like.
In what context?
So versus is kind of like rap battle meets a concert. It's like, it's not a battle like off the head. It's they perform their greatest hits. They improvise a little bit during it. But
they're going to have a
like
rap battle. It's in a boxing card? Like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
Yes and no. Like, it's not a rap battle technically.
It's a concert.
It's kind of like it's like a concert battle.
So rap is doing a battle of the bands now? Is that what
kind of? Yes.
In a way,
you know what?
yeah.
That's a great reference. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. The rap battle of the bands.
But leaving a Triller, I mean, Triller might bust out with like, Ja Rule, Fat Joe. All right, here are your cowboy hats. Sing me a diss song in country or some shit. Like, who knows what they'll fucking come up with at this point?
They might put gloves on them. Who knows? It might be the opening battle.
That's a good way to think of it, as like a battle of the bands, because they had Earth, Wind, and Fire versus the Isley Brothers back in the summer, I think, or early spring, and that was pretty dope. I'm a big fan of both of those bands, so it was cool to see.
Yeah, but I'm a fan of like a lot of older bands, but I don't want to see them live anymore. You know what I mean? That's just me.
No,
you know what I mean?
These guys can still perform, man. Trust me.
This is like tailored for it. Like the way they do it, it's just very, very. It's a cool niche. Does it belong on a boxing card? I don't know. I'm not the one to say that.
Probably not.
Probably not. But that's what I think Triller's big plan is. It's like, let's see how many names we can just stuff into a card doing whatever. Some of them are going to cook, some of them are going to box, some of them are going to rap.
Santel's pumped. Look at Santel. He's pumped. He's like, I can do that.
Actually, I'm looking forward more to that than the Tito Ortiz Anderson Silva boxing.
Now, are they going to be performing while they're fighting? Like,
no. I think it's after
they're going to be duking it out in the middle of like a concert.
No, last time they took the ring down, like the ropes and everything, and they showed fights during, and then when they came back, they did the concert in the ring.
Imagine doing like your job is putting up the ring, right? And then you work for Triller, and it's like, okay, take it out. Okay, put it back on. Okay, take it off again. Put it back on. Like, fuck you. I'm gonna go work for the Zone or some shit. I'm out.
You're gonna give me double?
Yeah. Are you gonna pay me for every time I put it up? What the fuck?
Yeah, no shit.
Let's end it with this guy's quick early preview. Knock on wood. Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos out of Australia. Chief Funky, how do you think this fight's going to go from your perspective, looking from the distance right now? And what's your overall thought about this fight at this point?
Well, I just want to get it over with because I feel like it's kind of holding things up in the lightweight division. So I'm going to say I think Teofimo stops this guy, and he doesn't go any more than 9 rounds, in my opinion. Although I think that Kambosos is, he's very game. He's fast. He doesn't mind getting in there and mixing it up. But I feel like that's just like a tailor-made thing for a guy like Teofimo, who's got those fast twitch muscles. He's a good counterpuncher, very, very quick. I feel like he's going to find a lot of openings in those attacks of Kambosos, and I feel he's going to run into something and get hurt and might not recover from it. So that's what I think, man. Although I feel like it could be entertaining for a little bit, but I think once Teofimo figures him out, his timing and his speed and all that, it's going to be a wrap. So hopefully you can get him out of there and, we can move forward. Or if Kambosos pulls the upset, hey, that's even more exciting. And then, we can see him go against some of these other guys too. But I just don't see that. I don't anticipate that at all.
Mario from the Boxing Voice, give us an early preview of this fight, brother. Teofimo Lopez, George Kambosos.
Yeah, I think it's a good fight. It's a good fight. It's a competitive fight. I don't expect Teofimo to lose. I don't. He's gotten better and he works so hard. I think ultimately, regardless of where this fight was ever going to happen, regardless of who the judges were going to be, this is always going to be Teofimo's fight to lose. But he could, I could see Kambosos having for Teofimo to lose. Kambosos has to fight his best fight, and Teofimo has to not fight his best fight. He doesn't have to suck, or his best fight wins. But Kambosos is definitely a guy who could upset the apple cart for sure. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be good. But ultimately, I look for Teofimo. Man, I want to still say distance, but I don't know. It's going to be tough. I'm going to wait until the card comes in before I give like an official how he wins prediction. But it's going to be a good card. Good fight.
Yeah, look, it's been over a year now, man. That's crazy. Like Teofimo Lopez should have already gotten this fight over with, and it was delayed already. It ended up going to purse bid, as we all know, and when that happened, that's because they're taking longer to schedule the fight. Now I'm glad he got his payday and all that, but then Triller did the stupid decision of rescheduling it because Bay was going to fight that weekend as well, and then unfortunately he got COVID and it postponed it some more. Man, knock on wood. I agree with what Chief Funky said. I hope this fight just happens already. I shouldn't be doing an early preview on this fight. This fight should be over already. I'm pretty confident that Teofimo Lopez will win this fight. I do think it'll be a tough fight for the first few rounds. And by few, I mean like 5 or 6 rounds. But I think at some point, Teofimo's going to catch him with something that will either A, alter the fight to a point where it becomes one-sided moving forward. Like I don't think Kambosos going to like what he got hit with. Or it'll knock him out. Look, Teofimo Lopez has knocked the guys out with his right hand, with a straight. He's knocked out guys, and I'm talking one-punch knockouts with a hook. He's knocked guys out by working the body with a vicious body attack, right? With body shots. He has one-punch KOs. He has TKOs. This guy has everything. And in his last fight, showed what I felt really confident he already had. The ability to outbox somebody for 12 rounds, which was the main question. I think he showed that. I think if it does go the distance, I think he'll dominate the second half. But if Kambosos can't withstand, that very real punching power of Teofimo Lopez, I think it's an early night. Look, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, man. We had a lot of topics because there was a lot of breaking news and stuff like that. I want to thank Mario from the Boxing Voice for coming on. Mario, tell everybody where they can find you on social media and what's going on with you guys over there, man, at the Boxing Voice.
Yeah, you can follow me at Mario Munguia on Twitter, at Mario Mugi on Instagram. Super easy. And yeah, we got Border Wars coming up a week from Saturday. Yours truly will be fighting in the main event. Been training hard, lost some weight. Feel good, man. I feel ready fighting a guy from Canada named Jose. And yeah, it should be fun. It's going to be available on YouTube.
A guy from Canada named Jose. All right.
Yeah. Jose signs to make it even weirder.
Man, no way, Jose.
No way, Jose.
Like, okay.
I love that.
Should be interesting. I can't wait. I'll definitely tune in for that one. Shout out to to you, brother. Hey, Chief Funky, any final words, brother, before we wrap this one up?
No, man, just thanks for tuning in, everybody. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to all the channels here. And yeah, man, tomorrow, Women Crushing It Wednesday should be good. Thursday, roundtable. So you guys stay tuned, man. HCP is going to continue to put in this work, baby.
That's right, guys. I closed the poll. Controversy or not, at the end of the day, Valdez, the fans have spoken. 68% for Valdez, 15% Lucha Bros, 15% Jesus Ramos Jr. So the fans have spoken.
They spoke.
This is D-Style Boxing. Keep it boxing. We're out of here.